Hey everybody, this is Firewizard23, and I just want to make a quick video to talk about. Well, let me start from the beginning. I watched a video of a lady who didn't go on the Dave Ramsey plan. She apparently attempted, and I guess it just really wasn't working for her. And there were certain comments that were made in the video that I really took offense to. That almost like the reason the plan didn't work is because of him. Like they thought like it just really wasn't catered to her specifically. And pretty much every single thing she said, I'm like, no, he's addressed this before. There are videos where he does address these specific criteria. Um, and so I wanted to make a video, not so much about that person, I won't even mention who I was watching, but I want to talk about my experiences with the Dave Ramsey plan and what I decided to do for me and how I made it work. I think that whenever anyone goes on a financial plan, it's going to be unique to the person. I think Dave Ramsey is pretty much applicable to just like anybody across the board, but everyone's going to have different circumstances. Everyone's going to have different obligations they have to meet. We're going to have to deal with this differently. So I want to talk about how I started using the Dave Ramsey, why I started using the Dave Ramsey plan, and how I've made it work since. I'm actually approaching a very serious milestone that you folks are going to see pretty soon. I'm extremely happy about. But yeah, I just want to make a video to talk about that. So let's talk about the first thing, which is a big thing Dave Ramsey talks about, which is the why. Why did I want to go on the Dave Ramsey? Why did I want to become debt free? What was the motivation? Because that why is a really big thing, and that's a huge thing to keep you motivated. Like there is a destination, there is a goal, there is a reason you are doing this, be it for your own financial security, for the future, which is a big inherent part of it. Be it you want to control your life, you want to be able to be financially secure for your children. Like there's so many different things that kind of get mixed into how this money is going to affect. The lack of debt will help that, and not to mention the rest of the baby steps to begin with. But I think step 2 is probably the major piece of that. So my why came down to it's on me now. It's just a realization that, look, you don't have any other safeguard except yourself now. I am now in the apartment I'm in right now. This is about 4.5 years I've been here. Prior to that, I was nearly homeless. And that's through a bunch of family circumstances that I won't get into in this video. But just, I could not live with my family anymore. Some domestic issues have come up where it's like, I can't live with you people anymore. I know that this will never work. I have to be independent. And prior to that moment, I had been habitating with them for about 4 or 5 years after I after I left the teaching profession. Just absolutely spiritually and emotionally destroyed from that experience. So I was really like, I'm on my own. I was in one apartment with a gentleman that I was in sublet for a while. Not on very good terms with him anymore because he's a little dodgy. But I'm here now, and I've been doing this for about 4.5 years, holding originally 2 part-time jobs. I now hold a full-time job and a part-time job. The level of work that I've put in for the past 4.5 years has been absolutely exhausting, and I wanted to get something out of it so I don't have to do that level of work anymore, and so I can be financially stable myself. And that's my big why, is that I have to do this now. I'm at a point where I know as I go into, I'm approaching 40. I'm in 4 years, I'll be 40 years old. I'm getting to a point where I know that I won't be able to give that kind of output anymore. I mean, a lot of people do, but I don't want to have to give that level of output anymore because it's just going to be too much for me. That's my why. Okay. So I want to talk about the variances I made to the Dave Ramsey plan, and the big part of it is I was doing without cash envelopes for a while. That's one big thing that was different about me is I didn't do cash envelopes at first, mostly because I wasn't trying to finagle it. I wasn't sure what I should do to make that work, And now I think I know what I would do. Let me explain what was happening originally. Since I didn't have cash envelopes, I was, um, uh, for the purposes of the big milestone I'm talking about, I've been printing out all of the pages of every budget month I had been doing. Like this is May 2016, all the way up to, oh, I don't have them printed yet, but I'll be all the way up to this month now. This one is actually the last one, December 7th, 2017. Look at that. That was the very first written budget I did back in May. And I realize now something that's missing from all the Dave Ramsey books is the idea of how to actually construct the budget. I think he writes it, but he doesn't really say, like, I've never seen it written. Maybe I'm kind of speaking kind of wrong because I have both his books up there on that shelf. You can see way up. I do have a Financial Peace as well as the Total Money Makeover. I have both, and I've read them both. I think he just says it. This is the budget. I guess if I was doing a book, I'd do it differently. I didn't think it was really stated clearly. Like, this is what you do. This is how you set your money up. And even here, I have a general estimate of what my money is. And now that is actually dynamically created, as many of you have seen, it is actually dynamically created each month as those different things are coming in. I generally know how much I'm paid each week or every 2 weeks. That just is created as a math equation that just goes into the month, goes into a pot. So I know what I have now. So I was just guesstimating it originally. And I didn't have the money for cash envelopes before. So what I was doing is that would all just be physically written down somewhere. I would just write that down, what I had for respective category. I must have been doing it on paper. I would occasionally, because I know the money was coming in for the month. That wasn't the problem. It's just I didn't have the access cash to set that up. So what I did was, okay, I spent $50 at the grocery store. If I had the cash, great. Early on in the month, this is when it became the issue because I drained all my checking account. I would use a credit card to supplement that money. I would use one credit card to supplement that. Just give me that money now, and then when, like my first, especially with the hospital, the first check came in like $800, I could just pay off the card and withdraw some money, and now I'm on cash again. Like I would manage it like, okay, this is the payment, I would actually make notes of everything because I'm very meticulous about my checkbook, very meticulous about it. I would write it down. If it was a credit, I would actually change the color on the line so I knew it was something I had to pay off later. Like go into my credit account and just boom, just pay it off because I have money now. Or I wouldn't highlight it if it was just like I use my debit card. I actually haven't used my debit card in a long time. I'm almost anti-debit cards. I don't like using my debit card. Mostly because I think, well, that's a different discussion. I don't like using my debit card yet. I guess the direct access to my account for like fees and stuff, and I know that's like hypochondriac and stuff. That's stupid. That's, you have the same protections as you do credit cards. A credit card, I could dispute it. I could say I dispute this charge. I am therefore not paying it. Like I can file a police report and say, hey, this was a fraudulent charge. I'm not paying it. Like versus like a bank account, it's already gone. Like, does that make sense? I don't know if that's technically better, but I think that makes a little more sense. Like, okay, they have access to this. We can freeze it. We can hold the card and be like, no, we're not going to allow that. And I have not, since like back then, I really have not used my credit cards regularly in a long time. I really do not use them regularly. In fact, all the ones that are paid off, even the ones I've been paying off on, they're just sitting in my safe. They're locked up, so I'm not even using them. That's the whole thing about debit cards. But yeah, if I use like a debit card, I would just simply write it normally. A credit card, I would just change the color. No, I had to pay it later, and then just change the colors back afterwards. Colors. But I realized, and I don't think I even knew what cash envelopes were back then. Either I saw them in a budget video. Okay, I saw these little colored envelopes. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, you can just write the category number you have and what the category is at the beginning of every month. You just slide them into the little pocket. I got these courtesy of back when Coke Rewards was good. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. I got a $10 Amazon card. I got these for like $2, like a set of 14 of these, and those are the envelopes I use to this day. And what I did was like, okay, well then where did the money come from? I had one of those big months because I get paid every 2 weeks by the hospital. I had one of those big months in August that year, and I had the extra money. I had like say $900 extra bucks. And it's like, well, why don't rather than making the big payment, why not just go ahead and set up cash envelopes? So you've set it up by withdrawing this from this bank from this month. Then every month can simply set it up again because it will be already present in the budget from the previous month. It hurt. It hurt to like not make a $400 payment, but like, okay, let's do it. And yeah, I've been using envelopes ever since. Oh, my card. My card fell out. So yeah, that's what I've been doing there, and that's how I started cash envelope. Finally getting on a cash envelope system. And what I recommend, what I'm saying, actually, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't have a problem if people need to start basically doing what I'm saying. I think I always call it like delaying a payment. Like you have the money this month, but you're just waiting until you actually get payment to do it. I actually do kind of recommend this if you need to kind of get into it, because what you should do to establish a cash envelope system is you should be saving up money, your excess money in your budget each month until you can fund the envelopes. Then you have the envelopes funded. This mixed in with saving up your $1,000, which gets us into my next issue, which is that I didn't have $1,000 starting this whole process. I actually didn't do that part of the process. Because what I have done now, and have always done for quite a while, money always goes from my account into my savings every week. I put $25 a week into my savings. So I never made a point of saving up $8,000, purposely saving up $8,000. I never did. And even when minor expenses came up, it either came from the access I had that month that was going to pay off a credit card, or I had it in savings. I've never had like a really dire emergency. I did at one point, but we'll get to that in a minute. Because what ended up happening to change that is my landlord backed into my car. I was parked here, she's backing up, bang, she hit my car. And the assessment was done on my car, and I got like a check for like $1,700. And it just occurred to me after my repairs, I'm like, I really didn't need that much, but that's what they paid me. It was all legit. I called insurance people and everything. It was all legit. I used that to actually establish my $1,000 savings. I'd never done that before. But with me, especially with the time I've been in debt and I'm going to be still in debt, I'm still continuously giving $25 to my savings, continuously. Let me pull something up here. The good old monthly statement of assets and debts, which really should be the monthly statement of savings and debt. Yeah, let me look here. I mean, this milestone I'm hitting, it's about 2.5 months, 2.5 years I'm about to hit it. There was a time in about 5 months, and that car accident happened about a year into me really starting this seriously, this Dave Ramsey plan. Then I got really hit. I mean, yeah, a year into it, I beg pardon. But then I actually had that really bad experience with money. I needed like $900. I see like I have. Oh no, it was like $1,600 I had to come up with, and like $1,000 would have been really helpful. And thankfully I had it then, was to kind of give me a little buffer. So now whenever I now do it exactly the way the Dave Ramsey plan is, that if I go down below $1,000, my access for that next month will go into the savings. And if even minor emergencies can just come out of the amount that's going to go to a credit card that month, then that's what I'll do, or any of my debt payments. So there's that. One thing that I did slightly differently is to pay off the debts, specifically the debt snowball, only because my debt payments have been so odd. Let me explain. I have the credit cards. They're easy enough. Like, okay, this one, this one, this one, this one. I also have my student loans, which are a consolidated loan as well as 4 smaller loans. The problem with the smaller loans, now some of them are actually smaller than my credit cards. Actually, most of them were. I elected not to pay those ones off first because of the difficulty it would require to pay them off. The only way I could pay those off, to make a direct payment to them, is I would have to call a Visa, either about Student Assistance Corporation directly, and request the checking transfer directly onto that payment. Alternatively, I could write a check indicating the specific place I wanted to go and mail them a check. I didn't like it. I found, in my mind, I found like student loan debts kind of be like one thing. I don't really conceive them as being different loans, even though they technically are. Once all my credit cards are gone, I will start treating those ones individually. Because that way, once I'm down just to consolidated loan, I can just use the online system to just simply send the payment directly. I can say, okay, I'm giving you $1,000, bam, and then there's no other loans you can go to. It must pay the initial principal, the excess interest, and the principal. It has to do it. But during my debt journey, as I've had really a lot of money during a certain month, I've picked up one of the smaller loans. I think it was just easier to do it that way. Like, okay, I had this $800, and this loan was exactly $800. I'd call her at the end of the month. Hey, I want to pay this. I want to pay this debt directly. Okay, there you go. And I've gotten so far 2 of them are actually completely gone. One of them, unfortunately, was also I just did it on principle. Was actually one that was co-signed by my mother, who I didn't want her to have that burden. That I actually paid that one off just so she was out of the picture. That it's now just on me. Everything is now just on me. So yeah, I just want to make this video and just talk about the things that I did differently than the Dave Ramsey plan, because everyone's going to have to do this differently. And I just want to come up with my take out there that that's how I chose to handle this. Would I have done it differently? Oh yeah, knowing it now, yeah, I probably would have just done it differently. Because now I see what I could have done. Like, oh, I could have saved up the payments I was using my credit cards. I could have saved those for the envelopes. Should have started saving those immediately for the savings. But I think I just wanted to kind of get started right away, because once I paid my first credit card off, $1,200, that was the purchase payment for my Grand Am. I just had this euphoric feeling, like, I can do this. Like, this is actually possible. And when I paid off the first $5,000 credit card, I'm like, are you serious? Like, I can do this. It was so exciting. But I do acknowledge, like, I could have made myself in a safer position by doing it earlier. Or at least I could have made it easier on myself. So, yeah, that's my video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I mean, comment below if you got any questions. And yeah, Firewizard23, have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye for now.